Hey friends, welcome to our Chic Soul YouTube channel. My name is Alexis and I'm a model here at Chic Soul. Today I'm going to be answering your questions that were sent in on our Facebook and Instagram polls. Honestly, I'm so excited, so let's jump right in. So the first question is, how did I get into modeling for Chic Soul? I'm actually going to start with my eyes. So I got into modeling, I applied for the model call on our website and they checked my Instagram and Facebook, and it just kind of went from there. So my Instagram is filled with selfie pictures because I make sure to include that and then use body positive quotes. So I think that kind of drew them. So if you're looking into that, make sure to apply on the model call, but be sure to ramp up your Instagram and Facebook because they're going to check it. Do you model for Chic Soul full-time or part-time? I actually model part-time for Chic Soul because I'm actually a buyer clerk as well. I love both jobs. I love working here. Chic Soul has just made my confidence go to the roof. It's amazing. I love it so much. Gonna put some eyeshadow on. This is my favorite part. So a little tidbit on the buyer clerk position. I actually started as a model first, and I was so invested in Chic Soul that I reached out and was like, do you guys have any jobs available? Because I just loved it here. Buyer clerk is a very fun position. Something that a lot of people don't know is the little labels that come on all of your beautiful products that you get. I actually print all of those, so it's a lot of fun. What do you love about Chic Soul clothes? So my favorite thing about Chic Soul clothes, honestly, is the quality, because you can't really find the quality anywhere else. I've shopped at a lot of places before I started shopping here. Chic Soul just hits the mark and even more to me. I also enjoy the fact that when I put on the clothes, it just makes me feel so much more confident. And that's one thing that I have always enjoyed, is buying from Chic Soul, but also modeling Chic Soul, because I don't get to keep the clothes. So when I buy from them, it makes me feel even more excited to put them on because the quality is just so good. I'm so happy Chic Soul has women of color for models. What does this platform mean to you as a plus size woman of color? So this one kind of made me a little emotional because it encompasses everything that I stand for. I, as a plus size woman of color, didn't see a lot of representation where I'm from. I'm from a very small town in Alabama. I didn't really see it even on TV or anything like that, plus size or women of color. It wasn't until I think 2012 where Tiana was a princess, so I didn't really even see that. And so it's important to me as a plus size woman of color, just making sure that little girls are seeing me in a bright light. I enjoy having this platform. I'm very, very blessed and grateful to have it. My little cousins now like to let their friends know that I'm a model, and I think that is so inspiring to them, but also inspiring to me. It makes me want to work even harder. I hope that it encourages you, whoever asked this question, to just go for what you're going for. Whatever you're reaching out to do, just make sure that you include yourself, include others in that vision, because people are going to look at you. They're inspired by it and they want to do more. Because I at first was oh, I'm just gonna model, it'll be cute and small. And then when I realized oh, people are actually watching this, they want to see it, I took a great deal of responsibility to do it. So I'm very grateful. Something that I think is super important, I'm not just modeling in general, I'm modeling for Chic Soul, which is a company that makes sure to embody body positivity, but also they embody everything that I stand for. And they didn't just bring me on to say, oh, we're just filling a quota. They make sure to include everything that has to do with being a woman of color. And I so enjoy working for a company that takes responsibility in that and makes sure that they hear, and listen. I think that's just so important, to work for a company that embodies everything that is important. Because I can work for any company, but to work for a company that makes sure that they hear me and hear others when they say, okay, we want to see more women of color, we want to see people with different body types, it's just I love it so much. The next question is, what are your hobbies outside of modeling? This to me is a very loaded question because I do a lot. One of my favorite hobbies actually is singing. I think you guys I've done a couple videos on my singing at Chic Soul, but I actually made singing my entire major. I very much enjoy singing. A fun little fact about me is I am the president of gospel choir at Auburn University, War Eagle. To anyone, my friend Kim does not like Auburn, but we won't go there. We have that little War Eagle Roll Tide moment all the time. My mom was actually the founder of the gospel choir back in the day, and so it's kind of come full circle around for me being president. I very much enjoy doing that. I intend on eventually in my life teaching music, teaching kids how to sing. That's very exciting to me. Let's see, I want to sing y'all my favorite song. My grandma used to sing this song to me. It's one of my favorite songs. You are my sunshine, my only sunshine. You make me happy when skies are gray. They're gray outside right now. You never know, dear, how much I love you. Please don't take my sunshine away. One of my favorites. Who is your celebrity crush? I have an unpopular opinion. I don't have one. Yeah, that's really bad. I don't watch a lot of TV, so I don't really have anyone that I'm like, wow, crushing on them. Also, I don't really crush on a lot of people in general, so I think that may be why I don't really have one. Shout out to y'all that don't have celebrity crushes either, because we're few and far between. So I think it's because I don't watch a lot of television, like I just said, but also I crush in a different way. I don't really crush on the physical. Mine is more of like a mental, emotional, spiritual thing. So if I had to choose someone, it would probably be Moses, like from the Bible. Y'all know him. He's pretty cool. He did a lot for the land and for the Lord, and so I like everything he stood for. So we're gonna go with Moses. What's a fun fact about yourself? This is bad. I don't really like bragging on myself, but I'm going to for y'all, just for y'all. I don't normally do this, but this is for y'all. So a fun fact about myself is I've actually sang in the Lincoln Center 3 times. I know, every time I say that out loud, I'm like, what? Who? How? Yeah, I've sang in the Lincoln Center 3 times. It wasn't by myself though, it was with a choir. Still kind of cool though. I really love New York. So if anybody's wondering, I'm doing eyeliner, so this might be a little spotty, but if anyone's wondering like exactly what songs we sang, because I went 3 years in a row, we actually did Carmina Burana. You know, the one that's like, that one. It's a lot of pressing and a lot of singing. It's a lot. And my mom, right before we went, she was like, because she heard me practicing, she goes, what exactly is going on in your room? Because all I was doing was like, and she goes, can you stop? I was like, it's for a show. It's for a show. And so I invited her to come to New York with me, and she did come. She still was very confused because it's a very difficult song and like set to sing, but it was very fun. So if you are wondering what that is, please look up Carmina Burana and make sure you wear headphones. What are your favorite clothing pieces for your body type? I very much enjoy like baby doll style tops, but also baby doll style dresses. When it's like colder out, I like a sweater and I tuck it a certain way for my body type. We'll have to do a video on that because I'm pretty sure we've done it before, but we haven't done it on my body type, so we'll do that a little later. It's a certain way that you tuck your shirt just to flatter. I have been doing it now for about a year, and now that I've done it, like I can't wear a shirt a certain way. I have to tuck it every time. I also very much enjoy like a long line cardigan with like a basic top. I think that's really nice. I also like one shoulder tops since I'm a little larger here. So like one shoulder or like off the shoulder, just to flatter my décolleté, as it's called. I really like a lot of things. I have a lot of clothes. I put on pretty much anything and just go, it works. But the things that flatter me the most are baby doll style tops, long line cardigans, tucking my shirt a certain way. So yeah. I know it sounds completely crazy, but there's a certain way to tuck it for my body type. Comment down below if you want to see that video of me just tucking my shirt in. What is your favorite eyeshadow palette? Here's the thing. Outside of Chic Soul, I'm actually a freelance makeup artist. So I don't really have one palette that I'm obsessed with, but I do have this one that I'm currently using right now. This is the Playing in Makeup by Yolando and Beats by Deb Beat Down eyeshadow palette. It's really nice. It's got a bunch of colors, but it also had neutrals, as you can see on my eyes here. So yeah, if I had to pick one for the time being, just because I use a lot of makeup, it would be this one. What is your favorite part about modeling? There's a couple things. It's not just one part. Something that I very much enjoy with modeling is that it gives me the opportunity to put on clothes that I normally wouldn't pick out for myself. And then I put them on and I go, why don't I pick out that type of shirt or like that type of dress? Or even shoes. Like I normally am a tennis shoes kind of gal, and modeling, there's not really a lot of tennis shoes going on. Something as minute as a shoe has broadened my horizons on what I should wear. I also enjoy being able to put on clothes that make my confidence level go up even more. I wouldn't say that I struggled per se with confidence, but I definitely was not to the level that I am now. Going back to the quality that I talked about earlier, when you put on clothes that have a higher quality and clothes that flatter your body type, it just makes you love yourself even more. Even if you're the most confident person, if you put on an item of clothing that makes you want to go out or like go out on a date or go out with some friends, like that just boosts it even more. What's been your favorite shoot so far? So my favorite shoot was actually my first shoot ever. The reason why is because I got to wear an avocado toast shirt. I'm sure you guys have seen that for National Avocado Day. I think we shared it on stories. It made me so happy because avocado toast is literally my favorite food. I eat it like 4 or 5 times a week. I'm working on that. I'm working on it because I need to branch out and eat other things. But I very much enjoy avocado toast, and I put that shirt on and I was like, are you kidding me? This was meant to be. So yeah, I definitely enjoyed that shoot. Another shoot that I enjoyed a lot was the fall content shoot that we did, the one where we went to the pumpkin patch, because it just embodied all of the fall vibes, and I was so happy with that shoot, and I think the pictures came out really nice. So yeah, lots of shooting, lots of fun. Any advice for aspiring models? I have a lot of advice, actually. I feel like we should do a video on that. Comment down below if you want to see it, because there's a lot to encap in that question. Something that I would recommend, and I think is very essential, is before you start modeling, make sure you have some sort of brand that matches you. For me, mine was body positive. I am a stickler for body positivity. I make sure to include that in all of my posts. Everything that I work around has to do with body positive. And so if you have a brand that matches you, you're more likely to get picked up by a brand that is in that same realm. So like for me, body positive was mine. Chic Soul said, hey, we're body positive, we want to see you. So definitely pick up a brand for that. Also, something that I struggled with that I didn't even think about is like comparing yourself to other models. I would not do that. 10 out of 10 would not recommend, because it gets you in a funk and then you're like, what? I can't even be a model. But you totally could. You just have to get out of yourself in order to do that. Also, I'd recommend, if you don't really take that many photos, definitely start doing that a little bit more. Just because if someone asks for headshots, you'll need to have some updated ones. Not like me, where I had some from like 5 years ago. I've completely changed. So I definitely recommend getting professional photos done. You could even ask a friend to do them, to be honest, but I definitely recommend a professional just because they're gonna give you the most quality. And to me, I think that photographers are slept on, so definitely get someone that you can benefit from, but also they benefit as well. You know, small businesses are important and photographers are definitely slept on, so pick them up, work with them. The last thing I'd recommend is just put yourself out there. If you are trying to be a model, you haven't really looked around, there are a lot of places that are looking for plus size models right now. So I definitely recommend applying, putting yourself out there, sending in your resume or sending in your portfolio, just letting them know that you are looking for a model job, and they may bring you in for a test shoot. They may sign you right on the spot. You never know. So just put yourself out there, really go looking, because the more that you branch out, the more likely you are to receive some sort of job. This question I love so much. Where do you find your confidence? My first answer is through Jesus Christ and Jesus Christ alone, but I am a human still. So there's some things that I go through just in my brain that aren't going to come from, I'm not going to say they don't come from God, but I am going to say that just as me, I tend to overthink everything. And so I'm like, oh, I don't look like this girl, so maybe like I need to work on that. And it's like, And one thing that I do every morning, this is essential. I wake up every morning, and I'm going to use this mirror as a base. I wake up every morning and I do this. You are beautiful. You are strong. You are worthy. You deserve love. I do that every morning. Every morning. There is no way that you can start your day without confidence if you do that to yourself every morning. At first, it's really awkward, because you don't feel it. But as soon as you keep doing it and keep doing it, it has gone leaps and bounds. My confidence went from here to like, it's up there. I definitely recommend doing that. Also, something that is super important that I didn't know about until I started working here is having friends that support your body positivity journey. Because if you don't, then you have people that don't support it, and when you start downing yourself, they don't help you get off of your downing. Because I had some friends before, they were really sweet, you know, but I would be like, hey, I'm not feeling good today, and they would just be like, it's okay. And I'm like, no, you need friends that are gonna be like, no, you're beautiful. Like, aggressive complimenting is my thing. Anyone that knows me, they ask me, and I'm like, no, you're beautiful, love yourself. And I definitely recommend doing that with your friends. Do it to them, they do it to you. Reciprocated. It's amazing. It has changed me for sure. What is your personal style? So if I had to classify it, because mine is kind of all over the place, I would say my personal style is eclectic. It doesn't really fit in a box anywhere. I kind of like transition depending on the weather and also depending on how I'm feeling that morning. So like today, I decided on a sweater that's pink and kind of muted. Tomorrow, I'll probably put on leopard print, just because I don't really fit into one box at all. I like to narrow down my aesthetic to boho, but I don't think that fits in it either. I kind of just go with whatever makes me feel confident. So definitely eclectic, because it doesn't really fit in a box at all. But I kind of love it that way. How do you cheer yourself up when you're feeling down on yourself? So I kind of touched on this a little bit in a couple questions before, but I'm now going to just talk about like the actual steps that I take throughout the day, because I talked about before the day. Let's talk about throughout the day. I suffer with social anxiety, and it's something that I don't really talk about a lot just because I don't want people to feel bad for me. Whenever I'm feeling overwhelmed or a little down on myself throughout the day, I'll like excuse myself to the bathroom and I pull up a Bible verse. I'm not going to say which one because it just depends on whatever I pray on, God will give me that verse. And so it just differs from day to day. But I pull up a Bible verse and I go to read it. And sometimes I get in there and I'm like, I don't want to read this at all. This is not working for me. On those days, I will literally sit in the bathroom, take a second, and just breathe. And then I get back to my mirror just like this, and we do the same rotation. And say you don't have a mirror in front of yourself. I then steady myself, get nice and relaxed. Sometimes I'll sit like on the back of a wall, go and stand on a wall if I can't sit at the moment, and I will just calm myself down mentally, because that's so important. If you're feeling overwhelmed, it's important to just take a second. You're allowed to do that. As someone who works a lot, I had to remind myself, you're allowed to take a second for yourself. And so if you're not feeling it and you're having a moment where you just need somebody to tell you you're okay, that one person that's gonna do it the way you wanna hear it is yourself. So I always just take a second, breathe in, get it together, and then I try to remember a time where I was feeling confident, because that moment, so like I'll give an example. New Year's Eve last year, we had a party at my friend's house, and I was like feeling myself, you know, had on a cute dress. I was excited about going to the party. And so moments like that, I make sure to remind myself, you remember when you look like that? That's exactly who you are right now. And I do that every time. Whenever I'm having an anxious moment, like I just said at work, when I don't have a moment to just woosah, I'll be like, you got this. Don't worry about it. And for those of us that are like, we can address this later, address it right then. Because you know what happens? You get home and then you're way overwhelmed because you've thought about work on top of all of the thoughts you had before. So try to address it right then. I definitely recommend that. Addressing it right then with yourself. You don't have to do it out loud. You can just do it within yourself. Hey, stop. You're beautiful. You deserve love. You are worthy. You got it. Okay, I cannot talk and do my eyelashes. For those of you that can do that, shout out to you, because I cannot. So I'm going to take a second, do my eyelashes, and then we'll come back and do some more questions. Okay, I'm back. Lashes are on. Aren't they cute? It's okay. I'm gassing myself. So the last question, how do you like working with Chic Soul? I love working with Chic Soul. Everything that I stand for, Chic Soul also stands for. That's not even a big deal to me, but it's a big deal in general, because they stand for body positivity. They make sure that all of the clothes flatter everyone's figure. I mean, doesn't that just sound amazing to you? Also, they make sure to take care of their employees, and to me, I can't think of a better place to work. I started working here not too long ago, actually, maybe about 7 months, and I cannot think of another place that I would want to work at. They're amazing. They treat me with respect. They treat everyone with respect, and I 10 out of 10 would recommend working for Chic Soul. And if you don't get that, make sure to follow us, because we embody positivity in the realm of everything. I just really love Chic Soul. Alrighty friends, those are all the questions. Thank you so much for sending those in. Next week, we're going to be having our model Hannah on the YouTube channel. She'll be answering all of your questions. So make sure to head on over to Facebook and Instagram to our stories poll so you can send in all the fun questions. We'll be putting every Thursday a new video on YouTube at 3 p.m. So make sure to subscribe, hit that bell notification down below, and stay chic.